China and Vietnam sign dozens of deals as Xi visits Hanoi amid U.S. tariff tensions. In a movie signaling deepening ties between two of Asia's largest communist economies, China and Vietnam signed dozens of bilateral agreements this week during Chinese President Xi Jinping's high-profile state visit to Hanoi. The agreements span a broad range of sectors, including trade, technology, infrastructure, digital economy, and maritime cooperation, reflecting a growing strategic alignment at a time of escalating global trade tensions, particularly between China and the United States. Xi's two-day visit marks his first to Vietnam since 2017 and comes just days after the U.S. raised tariffs on a sweeping range of Chinese goods, intensifying economic uncertainty and fueling speculation over a broader decoupling between the world's two largest economies. Against this backdrop, Beijing appears to be strengthening regional alliances and shoring up economic ties with key neighbors. China and Vietnam are friendly socialist neighbors, Xi said during a joint press conference with Vietnamese Communist Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong. This visit further deepens the shared destiny of our two nations. We will continue to support each other's development goals and defend our common interests in the face of global uncertainty. Strategic cooperation amid shifting global trade. The agreements signed include initiatives to boost cross-border rail connectivity, develop 5G networks, enhance cooperation in rare earth minerals, and foster joint ventures in manufacturing and green energy. Vietnam's state-run media also reported deals aimed at increasing bilateral trade, easing customs procedures, and aligning infrastructure projects with China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. In a particularly notable development, the two sides announced a new digital partnership aimed at fostering innovation and technological independence from Western platforms, a move some analysts see as a hedge against future U.S. restrictions on Chinese and regional tech ecosystems. The flurry of deals comes at a time when Vietnam is increasingly seen as a rising alternative hub for global manufacturing. As multinationals seek to diversify away from China amid U.S. tariffs and geopolitical risks, Vietnam has positioned itself as a key player in the global supply chain. Yet, Hanoi is carefully balancing its relationship with Beijing, even as it strengthens economic and strategic ties with Washington and other Western powers, navigating regional tensions. Despite their economic cooperation, China and Vietnam have a long and complex history, marked by territorial disputes in the South China Sea and historical tensions over sovereignty. In recent years, friction has emerged over China's growing assertiveness in regional waters, including incidents involving fishing vessels and military patrols. However, Xi's visit was tightly choreographed to emphasize unity over division. Both sides agreed to properly manage maritime differences, according to a joint communiqué, and pledged to uphold stability in the South China Sea through dialogue and mutual respect. Vietnam and China have differences, but both sides are committed to resolving them peacefully and constructively, said Trong. Today's agreements reflect our shared interest in building a future based on mutual benefit and regional peace. A signal to Washington. Xi's diplomatic push in Hanoi is being closely watched in Washington, where policymakers have long viewed Vietnam as a strategic partner in efforts to counterbalance China's influence in the Indo-Pacific. The Biden administration upgraded U.S.-Vietnam relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership in 2023, signaling deepening cooperation on technology, security, and supply chains. But with the new China-Vietnam agreements, Beijing appears to be countering that narrative, seeking to remind its neighbors of the economic power it still wields in the region. The timing of the visit, just days after President Trump's successor reaffirmed and expanded tariffs on Chinese imports, adds a layer of geopolitical signaling to the trip. Xi's visit is a message to Washington. China is not isolated, said Dr. Lin Tran, a political economist at the University of Ho Chi Minh City. Beijing is showing that it can still shape the regional order and forge partnerships despite trade wars and containment strategies. Looking ahead, the series of deals between China and Vietnam suggests a tactical pivot in both countries' foreign policy strategies. For China, it is a way to mitigate the economic impact of U.S. tariffs and build resilient trade corridors across Asia. For Vietnam, it's a calculated effort to remain at the center of great power competition without becoming overly dependent on any one partner. Still, the long-term implications remain uncertain. As Xi departed Hanoi, the question on many observers' minds was whether this visit marks a lasting shift in the regional balance of power or a temporary alignment of convenience in an increasingly fractured global economy.